Hi there, everyone. Meteorologist Robert Spetta here with you on today. Well, it's the 23rd going into the 24th of October 2013, so right around midnight Japan Standard Time. We're continuing to watch Typhoon Francisco. This is the latest radar imagery on the storm system as it's actually been tracking west here throughout the evening hours, vice north, which JMA and JTWC have been predicting. Unfortunately, it hasn't really been following the projected path thus far, still tracking slowly towards the west, but it is still anticipated to turn off here towards the north, and that is one thing that would likely we're going to start to see throughout the overnight hours. But right now, though, these outer rain bands are continuing to approach Okinawa Honto here, and I do think by the early morning hours, and then even extending out through the afternoon, we're going to be seeing winds about 40 to 50, gusting up to about 65 knots here across Okinawa. That's including the southern portion, so definitely you're going to be seeing some destructive winds out here. I know that storm warnings are in effect at this time, tropical storm warnings. The military there is in storm watch. I think based on the latest information, they probably should have gone to the T-cores and should be up towards T-core 1 right around noontime tomorrow. But well, that's the way the forecast goes, and I'm nowhere near in charge of any of that, so that's just my thoughts on that, though. Storm system is going to be staying off here towards the east. Don't expect a direct landfall, but a pretty decent wind gradient around this, and it's already causing problems. There on Daito Jima, actually seen winds gusting up to 120 kilometers per hour, so typhoon-strength winds have been recorded here on land at this time. Also, a ship lost contact with the Okinawa here earlier on this evening. Coast Guard had to fly out and spot the ship, which basically lost their communications. But good news, everybody on board seemed to be okay once the helo flew out there, but that put us through a pretty good scare this evening. And this image actually is not from the southern Japanese islands, but farther towards the north into the Key Peninsula where a large landslide took place, and that seems to be the story, at least the expected story, going through the next 24 to 48 hours, because much of western Japan, you're going to be seeing some pretty heavy rainfall out of it. As Francisco gets wrapped up with a stationary boundary, which is now lingering over western Japan, and some areas out here, especially around Shikoku and the Key Peninsula, could see upwards about 300 to 350 millimeters of rain, so a very serious risk of flooding and landslides. But at least for the time being, though, the main threat, though, is those gusty winds and the heavy rainfall there across the southern Japanese islands going through the overnight hours, and even extending out through the evening hours. We're going to be seeing our storm system pull off towards it. As it does so, high pressure is actually going to be ridging in behind it, so that's going to set up a pretty tight gradient on the western periphery of Francisco. So winds up to about 50 knots still expected across Okinawa, even though the storm system will be moving farther off there towards the north and away from the southern Japanese islands. You can see here with the GFS model, this is going through the evening hours on Thursday. We're looking at sustained about 45 to 50 knots here by Friday, or excuse me, that was by Thursday evening. This is going into Friday. Still some pretty gusty winds, but now by this time it is going to start to bring those gusty winds there towards southern portions of Kyushu. But if we pull up that precipitation, like I said, the main threat for much of western Japan will be the heavy rainfall, and then even over towards Tokyo into Saturday morning. Do I expect damaging winds across Tokyo going into Saturday? Not likely, really at all, but the main threat is going to be that very intense, heavy rainfall out here, and also it's going to start to pull a little bit farther towards the east and weaken as it gets farther towards north. So still some high waves, tropical storm strength winds possible, but it's just the rains that we're going to be seeing with the risk of flooding. So that is all for right now, everybody. I know a very quick update, but just an overnight update here on the storms as it tracks ever so closer to those of you there in Okinawa. I know that if you are seeing those gusty winds, you're probably watching this, just seeing what the latest information is on our storm, which is still moving west. So definitely expect some pretty gusty winds and potentially destructive winds out here going through the day on Thursday. So that is all for now. Right now, though, everybody, thanks for watching here at westernpacificweather.com. If you have any questions, comments, or suggestions, you can always post them down in the comment box below. And as always, stay safe out there.